He was the favorite son, a hero of the Falklands, the face of British tradition. But while the world watched him on gilded balconies, Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor was forging a bond that would destroy his legacy forever. This is not just the fall of a prince. It's a portrait of how absolute privilege collided with the deepest darkness.
In the 90s, Andrew was known as the Playboy Prince. But his life changed when Ghislaine Maxwell introduced him to a man who seemed to have it all: Jeffrey Epstein. Epstein wasn't just a financier, he was a collector of powerful people. Mansions in Manhattan, a private island in the Virgin Islands, and a private Boeing 727. But behind that facade of luxury, Epstein was running a systematic network of illicit conduct targeting vulnerable people.
The flight logs don't lie. Andrew used Epstein's private jet, nicknamed the Lolita Express, on multiple occasions between 1999 and 2001. New York, Florida, the island, places where, according to investigations, power was used to facilitate abuse and betrayal. Andrew said they were just acquaintances. The documents suggest they were trusted allies. Year 2000. Virginia Roberts, just 16 years old, worked at the Mar-a-Lago Club. There she was recruited by Maxwell's network with promises of a better life. What she found instead was a system of coordinated exploitation.
This image from March 2001 is the proof Andrew couldn't erase. London. Virginia is 17. Andrew is 41. His hand is around her waist in an atmosphere of unsettling familiarity.
It wasn't a choice. I was forced to be with him in 3 different cities. In Maxwell's house in London, in New York, and on the island. I was just a piece in his power game.
In 2008, Epstein is convicted of serious crimes involving a minor. His sentence was suspiciously short, 13 months with unprecedented privileges. Any public figure would have stayed miles away. Andrew did the opposite.
December 2010, Central Park. Andrew is photographed walking with a convicted sex offender freshly out of prison. He stayed at Epstein's mansion for 4 days. His official excuse was, "I went to end the relationship in an honorable way."
But in the court of public opinion, the verdict was immediate: loyalty above decency. November 2019, Epstein is dead in his cell. The world demands answers. Andrew decides, against all advice, to give an exclusive interview to the BBC. It was perhaps the biggest public relations disaster in history.
I have a medical condition. Because of the adrenaline in war, I simply don't sweat. Therefore, your description that I was sweating is impossible. I don't regret my friendship with him. The benefits and the connections he gave me were very useful.
There wasn't a single word of empathy for the victims, only technical excuses and a defense of his status.
The backlash was a wildfire. Within 96 hours, Andrew was stripped of his patronages. Days later, he stepped down from public duties. The prince had fallen. Virginia formally sues Andrew in New York for damages. For months, Andrew tried to get the case dismissed using diplomatic immunity. It didn't work.
Just before he would have had to testify under oath, where every lie would be a federal crime, Andrew reached an out-of-court settlement. The amount was never officially disclosed, but it's estimated at $14 million. He paid not to speak. He paid to make the case go away. But in the process, he lost the one thing money can't buy: his honor.
Today, Andrew is a ghost in his own palace, without military titles, without the His Royal Highness style.
Epstein is dead. Maxwell is in prison. But the system that allowed this to happen for decades remains under scrutiny.
What this case taught us is that justice can be slow and power can buy silence, but it can't buy memory. Andrew avoided prison, but he couldn't avoid the world learning who he really is.
And there it is, the uncomfortable truth. This isn't just about one man and his choices, but about the ecosystem that made them possible. A system where a surname opened doors, where warnings turned into whispers, and where the real cost was paid by those who had no power to defend themselves. Because when impunity becomes normalized, silence isn't neutral. It's complicity.
Now it's your turn. After hearing all of this, what do you think should carry more weight? An institution's reputation or the full truth, even if it topples symbols? Leave it in the comments. Was there a point of no return for Andrew, or was the system already broken long before?